Guys, what's crappening? MMA Savant here. I'm going to do the UFC 199 card. I'm going to do the main card plus the main event of the preliminary card. So the event is being headlined by Luke Rockhold, who's the middleweight champion, taking on Michael Bisping. This will be a rematch, and Michael Bisping is on short notice. Um, so then the co-main event is going to be Dominic Cruz is fighting in a rubber match, or for all you people new to MMA or combat sports, rubber match is the third fight together. So they're 1-1 with Uriah Faber finishing Dominic Cruz by guillotine choke way back in WEC days, and Dominic Cruz beating him after that by a decision. So then we have Max Holloway taking on Ricardo Lamas. Dan Henderson is taking on Hector Lombard. And finishing out, or starting out the card, I should say, we have Dustin Poirier taking on Bobby Green. So let's start with the main event of the prelims, which is going to be Brian Ortega taking on Clay Guida. Brian Ortega is one of the fighters I'm pretty high on. I've been you know speaking highly of him or whatever since the beginning, since I first saw him in the UFC. His nickname is T City, and what the T stands for is Triangle City, because he's a black belt under Henner Gracie. He's a Gracie black belt in Jiu Jitsu. Sorry guys, I got a little mush mouth going on here. Um, and he's quick with that leg triangle. Okay, he's quick. He's quick to put it on people, and he's good at all kinds of chokes and submissions. It's not just he doesn't specialize in one thing. He's not like a Jiva Santana or a Ronda Rousey or whatever. He's good all around with the submissions, but he can also throw them hands too. Watch his fight with Thiago Tavares. It's one of the best fights I've ever seen. It's very exciting back and forth. But he's fighting Clay Guida, and Clay Guida has wins over Nate Diaz. He's got wins over Anthony Pettis. Let's see. I don't want to say anything that isn't correct. That wouldn't be the MMA Savant's way. So let's go. Clay Guida does have a win. Let's see. Yeah, that's not my name. Anthony Pettis, RDA. Oh, that's right. That's one where we had him against the thing and he broke his jaw. That was at UFC 117. That was in Oakland. That would have been Sonnen versus Silva. Yeah, I remember that one. Anyway, so RDA, Nate Diaz, Anthony Pettis. These are all guys that he's got wins over. So he's definitely a risky fight for T City there. But I think Brian Ortega gets it done. And I'm gonna go real simple with it. I say he either snatches up a guillotine choke, making him G City, off the takedown attempt, or he does what he's been doing and beats guys up, and then when they get exposed and hurt a little bit, then he goes in for the kill. But it's very possible that Clay Guida his cardio is too good, and he's seen and done everything. So it's very possible that might not work on him, and Clay Guida gets it done by decision. But I'm sticking with my original pick. I'm going to go Brian T. City Ortega to finish Clay Guida. Okay, back to the Wikipedia page right here. Then we have Dustin Poirier taking on Bobby Green. I'm a big fan of Poirier. I really like him. Bobby Green, I liked him for a little while, but then after seeing one of his fights, I think it was with Josh Thompson, he did too much hugging and giggling and all that kind of stuff, and it just kind of ruined it for me. We get it, everything's it's all copacetic, and you can be cool with the person you're competing against. Sorry, but you got to fight, dude. You can't be hugging and high fiving and all that shit every 30 seconds. You got to fight. Stop talking. He's a talented guy. I really loved it when he came in and took out Christmas. The guy who would get all political. He's got a wrestling win over Rashad Evans. Jacob Volkman. That was really nice to see him get him out of there. So he's definitely a talented fighter and everything. And he's very good at winning the decision. But I think for this one, I'm going to go with the fan favorite. I'm going to go Dustin Poirier. I really like him. If you haven't seen his fight with the Korean Zombie, it is, in my opinion, one of the best fights of all time. It had everything. Anyway, so go check that fight out. I'm going to go Dustin Poirier to finish Bobby Green in the third round. Okay, moving on to Dan Henderson. Hendo is going to take on Hector Lombard, who, let's see if I remember this right. His name now is Showweather, which I think he thinks translates to he'll show up to any fight no matter what the weather is or whether or not you want him to. I forget how he translated that. He's Cuban or whatever. His name before that was Lightning. And his name before that, for all you MMA heads out there who are really old school like me, his name was Chongo, way back in the day. Anyway, a little memory lane right there. Dan Henderson was supposed to fight Machida about a month ago. Machida popped for some kind of illegal USADA banned drug or whatever. I don't know. I don't get into details about that kind of stuff, but Machida did something bad or stupid. The fight got scrapped last minute. So Henderson's now fighting Hector Lombard. We're all wary and aware of the H-bomb, which is that powerful right hand that Dan Henderson has. And we all know his wrestling accolades. But Hector Lombard is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a very highly decorated black belt judoka, so judo player. And he's got knockout power too. I don't see Dan Henderson winning this fight. I see Hector Lombard finishing Dan Henderson in the first round, or if it's a slow start and he's cautious of the H-bomb early in the second round. Plus, I understand that Hector Lombard tried to go to Team Quest, and he didn't receive a very warm welcome from Dan Henderson. So there's kind of I wouldn't say it's a bad blood, but there's a little something brewing over there because of that. I don't know. Could be nothing. Could be something. But I have Hector Lombard to finish Dan Henderson in the first round. Maybe second. Sorry. Now we have Max Holloway. Max Blessed Holloway is going to take on Ricardo Lamas. Ricardo Lamas has fought for the title against Jose Aldo at 45. He's a very tough, gritty, kind of blue-collar guy, good wrestler. Got heavy hands. Chad Mendes stopped him. But Chad Mendes is pretty top of the food chain as far as it goes. Max Holloway, he does have a couple losses on the record, but I think that he'll be smart enough to use his range and stay out of the takedowns of Lamas or whatever. And sorry, here I'm blanking out here. Okay, I'm gonna pick Max Holloway gets it done by decision by peppering him with shots. Look for the long jab. Look for kicks from the outside. Um, and I guess I could see a choke or a knee up the middle off a takedown attempt towards Lamas. But anyway, I can't speculate on what will happen. I'm not psychic here. I have Max Holloway to win this fight by decision. Okay. In the co-main event of the evening, we have the bantamweight title. Uriah Faber is challenging Dominic Cruz, who is the current champion. This is their third fight, like I said before in the opening of the video. Dominic Cruz, Uriah Faber. I would love for Uriah Faber to get this win. I'm a much bigger fan of Faber than I am of Cruz. I like Cruz's boxing. I really like Cruz's analyses. Analyses? Yeah. How he's an analyst and he's the best at what he does. But I don't like guys who don't finish fights. And I know he finished what's his face, Mizugaki or whatever. But he's got too many. He got too many decision victories for me. I feel like Dominic Cruz will cruise to a victory. Not that it'll be easy, but he'll just dance around, and some people call it avoiding, some people call it fantastic footwork and everything. Um, I would love for Uriah Faber to snatch up that neck and tap him, but I don't know. I think at 30, 38 years old or 30, let me see how old Faber is. 37 years old with all these fights, and he's too battle worn, I think. I see Cruz avoiding any danger, and I see him beating Uriah Faber by decision. I like, it's a co-main event, so I should talk a lot more about that, but it doesn't. I don't see it going any other way. If there is a finish, I see it being Faber over Cruz, but I see the fight going to decision. Okay, on to the main event of the evening. It's going to be Luke Rockhold. It's going to take on Michael Bisping. It's a rematch. Michael Bisping's on short notice. Most people give it's a 10-1 odds right now. Luke Rockhold is a much better grappler. He's taller. He already has a win over Michael Bisping with that one-arm guillotine. Luke Rockhold has had a full camp. Michael Bisping has not. So everything is in Rockhold's favor, which means all the pressure is on Luke Rockhold also, because this is a fight that he shouldn't lose at all. Now, I'm picking Luke Rockhold to stop Michael Bisping, okay? But make no mistake about it at all, Michael Bisping can win this fight by decision. Do what he did to Anderson Silva. Don't do any damage at all. Like, none. Get his ass kicked. Get his face busted up. And for all intents and purposes, get knocked out or unable to continue for like 30 seconds. But still get the decision win. He can do what Carlos Condit did to Nick Diaz, where the guy who's the natural born killer, with at the time he had 13 KOs and 13 or TKOs and 13 submissions, with like almost 100% finishing rate or whatever. He decides to pitter patter and play on the outside. So Michael Bisping, if he plays it smart, translates to boring. He can win this fight by decision. But that's the only way I really see. I don't see him submitting Luke Rockhold. And I don't see him succumbing, or I don't see him withstanding those body kicks. You know. I just. Side note. I do see Michael Bisping beating Chris Weidman from being faster, being more active. and have just enough ground game and awareness to avoid the takedown or pop back up to his feet against Chris Weidman. So anyway, I digress. Michael Bisping can win the fight by decision, but it's not going to happen. Maybe if he had a full camp, I could see that. But Luke Rockhold to finish Michael Bisping late in the first round. Body kicks and slicing elbows up against the cage. All right, guys. 15 minutes. Okay, so this is MMA Savant. These are my picks for UFC 199. So from the top down, we have Rockhold to finish Michael Bisping in the first, Dominic Cruz to cruise to a victory, Max Holloway by decision, Hector Lombard by finish late in the first, and what did I say? Okay, Dustin Poirier to beat Bobby Green, and Brian Ortega to finish Clay Guida in the third round. Other than that, no fights really jump out to me. The Cole Miller BJ Penn fight would have been interesting, but I don't care about that now. Jessica Andrade, Jessica Penne. Beneil Dariush has of late has really been lackluster and kind of disappointing. So I want to comment on that fight. I just don't care enough about it. But gun to my head, I would say I can't even pick. I might as well just go ahead and pick James Vick. He's undefeated and he's tall. Still on the outside. Beneil Dariush submits James Vick in the second round, locking it in right there. My lock of the night is going to be Rockhold. My underdog of the fight is going to be Uriah Faber. No. It's going to be nobody. Maybe Faber, but I don't know. Maybe Henderson if he gets cocky. If Hector Lombard gets cocky and puts his hand down and gets caught. But yeah, my lock of the night is going to be Luke Rockhold. Okay, guys, MMA Savant. That was my picks for UFC 199. Sorry, it's kind of early out here in Texas. I haven't done a video for a while. I've been really busy at work. So thanks for watching my video. Leave a comment if you choose to. Subscribe if you want to. And thanks, everybody. MMA Savant, and I'm out.